What's going on, guys? Rockley AC here, back at it again with actually one of my favorite decks in the Dragon Ball Super card game, Green Broly. This is going to be a shorter video than normal because a lot of people are used to kind of like this deck. But basically, this is a mono green version of the popularized aggro deck in the format from several sets ago. And it's been one of my favorite decks that I like to play just to pick it up and maybe catch people off guard on a best of one or just something fun to play. The good things about this deck is that it's super fast, very aggro. You could kill your opponent by turn 3, sometimes turn 2, depending on the cards in your hand and whatever the state of the game is. But obviously, it does have a lot of negatives. The chain could be interrupted, and against decks that are very defensive, such as like Hatchiyak, just decks with a lot of defense and blockers and negates, then obviously, it does have a tough matchup. But this is the mono green version. And disclaimer, this is at the time of the recording, just right when the green cards are released for set 10. So none of these deck profiles in the past couple weeks have been focused or concentrated on the upcoming cards like the Unison format. But this is obviously something to take into consideration when viewing my videos. I have not put any of the new cards in. These are more physical deck profiles that I have at the moment and to my attainable knowledge. So yeah, let's go straight to the deck profile. Broly, you could choose one green, freeze army from your deck with energy cost of 1 and put it in your hand. And then you need the effect for the rest of the game. Then when you're at 4 or less life, you get to untap 1 and draw a card. And then he becomes Broly Evil Unleashed. He is a card that says you can only have 2 battle cards in play, but that's fine because you're swapping cards in and out of your hand anyways, going up the chain. Sparking 7, when you attack, you draw up to 6 cards from your hand, which is amazing. One of the most unique abilities in any of the leaders that we have in the game. And then also activate main once per turn. You could choose one of your battle cards and one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it, so it has inherent removal. So we're going to go straight to the deck profile. Let's go see what I'm running here. We are going with the negates. You got 4 Shock and Death Ball, one of the best cards in this deck because it's very easy to fill up your drop zone with sparking so that you could tap out, which you normally do in the first couple turns anyways, and you could save yourself from attacking if you don't have your Broly chain out. Now you guys are going to hate me for this. I know you guys are used to it, but these are my proxies for this specific card over here. I know it's so bad showing it from my phone, but it's Kakunza. I don't know, I think she's like $25, $30 right now. So again, some of these cards are very hard to attain unless you have the draft box 5 cards with you. But she is a counterattack, negate the attack, then play this card. If your leader card is green and if your opponent's turn, reduce energy cost of your hand by 2. When you play this card, choose up to 1 of your opponent's cards and KO it. She's a 4 cost, which is very relevant in the combos that I'll show you in a little bit. Next are the super combos. You're going to go with 4 Defending Father Paragus. He's one of the best super combos, if not the best super combo in the game. Filters your hand. No need to really further explain that. 4 Golemites. Super aggressive deck, even though this is already inherently aggressive. Golemite just gives you that extra 10k boost. You could put a 5k on the current card that's attacking and put another 5k on your Broly card, Broly BR card, whatever have you. It's very, very awesome when you're attacking. Next is 3 Cells Kamehameha. This is good either on the offensive or defensive. If you do happen to have an energy open and it's either your turn or your opponent's turn, being able to drop a card and then getting pumped up 15k either with your Broly cards or your leader is very, very strong. Next, because this deck is a little bit more on the fragile side, you want to be able to close out games with your leader, and the best way to do that is through Champa Double Strike. You're going to dump your hand primarily before going all in so that you could redraw into those 6 cards, maybe draw into those super combos, those 10k boosts, Cells Kamehameha, what have you, and then you could also go into that Champa Double Strike, which could secure you the game. Next are some of the cards that help with the engine. 2 Broly control mechanism. When you put this card in play, you can place this card in its owner's drop area, choose one of your Broly BR cards, and put in the drop area also and draw a card. So this helps you trigger your chain. Next is 3 Tragic Awakening. This allows you to get your Broly's that 6 drop or less from your drop zone so you could replay it if they happen to interrupt your line of play. This card is very awesome to go into your SCR also as well. Next is starting off with the Broly itself is the Broly 1 drop. When it comes into play, you choose 2 cards or 1 card and put it into your hand. That's a mandatory effect. It allows you to self-awaken and go into your bigger drops later on. The other 1 drop is Paragus the Sacrifice. Again, there's another card that helps you take away your own battle cards in order to draw. That's a once per turn ability. It's a nice cheap cost. Another one is 2 Paragus Deadly Premonition. You don't really need this card, but there are times when I just couldn't find the chain, and that's sadly what will happen to some of your games, about maybe 20% of your games, where you just can't find that actual 4 drop or 6 drop, whatever you need. So Paragus helps with that effect and making sure that you're consistent with picking out the top 7 cards of your deck and then being able to draw into that Broly piece. One of the most important cards of this deck is the Paragus Rampage Trigger. This basically says when it's put in play, you could search for one of 2 options. You could choose a Broly BR card from your deck, put it in your hand, or Broly BR card from your drop area and put it in your hand. And then you could also pitch that card and another card in order to search for those abilities. So that's basically what you do when you put in play and start off your chain. Next is 2 Surprise Attack Frieza. Simple 1 of or 2 of in this deck simply because you can KO your opponent's cards easily and then you can put them to play for free. 4 drop being a relevant card into here as well because you are going to your SCR later on. Now going to the Broly chain. 4 drop Broly. I'm sure a lot of people already know this by now, but Broly already goes into the 4 drop from the 1 drop and you could put it in play, KO a battle card that's 3 or less. And then you can remove it, dropping 2 cards to go into the 6 drop. Broly Power Unleashed. Now what's really awesome here is that during the battle, this card's battle, when this card attacks, your opponent can't activate counters and a cost of 2 or more. So future sets or a lot of relevant sets that are cards that are similar to Mafuba, for instance, they can't activate that. It's very powerful in certain matchups, and it's going to be more relevant as more cards are released over time. And then also has a similar effect to the 4 drop, but it could KO pretty much any card except Barrier. That will be the next one that's going into. If you want to go to the next drop, you drop 2 again, KO it, remove from play. And then you got the 8 drop. Similar effect, same thing with the 2 cost counter cards, as well as KOing cards, but now it ignores barriers, so it could get around stuff like Invoker. Cards that are very annoying to get rid of, especially early game. You can go up the chain on turn 2. And then the SCR that we were running at choice is the SCR Xeno. You can put the Broly if you want to. That's the more traditional, but I just wanted to spice it up with the Xeno. You don't even have to have 5 energy. If you do have 5 energy, then you get the choice of being able to pick 3 cards out of your opponent's hands and it gets dual attack. But you're attacking so much with your double strikers early game, first 2-3 turns. Your opponent's life is going to dwindle, so they're going to have to protect this anyways. It's a 40k strike for free once you're able to successor into the 12 drop. So a couple different ways. You could have your 6 drop out over here through either going up the chain and then next turn playing Tragic Awakening on turn 3, getting another 6 drop and then swinging again and then going to the 12 drop. Or you could have something where you already have the 8 drop in play and then you have the Frieza or the Kakunza that you could go up and go into successor as well. So yeah, that is basically the shell of it. It is awesome. Things to note, again, this format is going to be changed pretty drastically in the next coming month because of the new Unison cards, because of all those really seem to be broken effects and a lot of these cards that are coming out. We don't know exactly how much it'll affect certain cards, especially a lot of the decks that are out right now. But it'll definitely make an impact in the meta, and especially for green, I think there's a lot of good green cards that are coming out. The new green Nimbus Negate is something to consider, and maybe even a possible Unison cards. But definitely give this a try. Let me know what your favorite deck is. This is one of my favorite decks that I've been playing for about a year and a half now, and it's just really fun to pick up. And I look forward to the set 10 release. We already have a lot of spoilers coming out. Green just released, so I'm super excited for that. and a lot of things coming up to look forward to. So thank you guys again for all your support. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.